What's good, YouTube? Anti-Yami here, back with another video. And in today's video, I am so happy to say that I'm officially now back on main decking my White Forest deck. It's actually insane. Again, I'll showcase that I am now like 36 on Omega. I forget where I was before. I think I was around 26, 28 with the Pearly Yummy deck. And I'm going to talk about how I feel about that deck as I'm going through this particular profile. So if you haven't checked out my Pearly list, I want you guys to go check it out in the last video I uploaded. Very good deck. The only problem is it's very high rolly. And what I mean by that is that when you high roll, the deck seemed really unstoppable. But when you didn't high roll your opponent, especially with your Pearly effects, it kind of fell, it loses a lot of hand advantage. And especially when you're going through the meta, especially you're going against like the canine cards that hand loop you. Some people will be smart enough to go into the, I forget his name, but the one that like burns for 4,000, hand loop your card from your hand and then negate on the field. Like once they start picking cards out of your hand, it gets really, really rough. And we're not gonna talk about the Mizurugi matchup because that's like rough, right? But yeah, no, today we're going to be talking about the White Forest list, and I'm going to showcase just the deck profile here. I'll go over combos and stuff in future videos. I will be making an update with the Pearly Yummy deck with the new support, so also look forward to that. I still like the deck. I think the deck is really, really good, but I think it's just poor position in today's format because of FUA and a lot of the rotating decks and stuff like that. If you were to play the deck, it's either you go full Yummy or you go full Pearly. I think mixing them both in this current format is a little hard. So anyway, without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into the deck list. Typically, I don't go over side decking and whatever, but in this deck or this profile, I will. So, but yeah, if I would have took this deck to the regionals, I feel like I would have went at least 6-2 or 7-1 or undefeated. I think White Forest is in a amazing spot. I think it has a good matchup over decks like Yummy, decks like Draco Tail. It can outpower the inboard depending on how you draw, of course. I think its hardest matchup is probably Canine Vanquisol and Canine Crystron because the Canine cards actually kind of hurt the White Forest decks. It has a 1000% win rate over Lunar Lights. Like I literally went against Lunar Lights like 5 or 6 times in a row online. And I can showcase those matches if you guys care to. But this deck, literally best matchup is Lunar Lights. Like it's free. I broke in SP Lunar Light, Babushka, double Lager Dancers. It's insane. I have not lost a set. I've lost some games, right? But not a set. So anyway, let's go ahead and hop into the profile. I took a lot of inspiration from Worlds and some people at the regionals that was on White Forest. I'm assuming, I think maybe 1 or 2 topped 32. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm not sure of any of them top 8. But I'm very particular on this deck. I've been playing this deck for like 6 months. I've won like or top like 4 regionals with this deck, so I have a lot of input on this deck and how we were gonna play for this current format. So yep, of course you're on your 3 Sylvie, best normal summon of your deck. Of course you're on your 3 Azets. This card is basically, if this card resolves and you don't get hit with a draw afterwards, you pretty much seem like you just win the game. It just seems like this gives you so much advantage. It's insane. Of course we're on the one Azamina, the one Stellar, and then the one Rusia. I'm gonna talk about this card later on in this profile. I just added it to my deck, and funny enough, whenever I play this, I usually cut this. Usually both of these don't coexist in the deck, and this is obviously the most cuttable. I don't really resolve this or use this card as much, but it's there, and I have in some states just normal summon it and use the effect, right? So these 4 are basically your primary main normal summons, but there's ways to achieve both of these cards, which I'll probably talk about later on. But yes, these are the White Forest cards I am currently playing. I think it's fine. But again, a Stellar is probably the most cuttable out of the bunch. Going into the Delabellstar's monsters, I play, of course, Delabellstar White Witch, and then Vengeance. These cards is how you play through through Fua, like cleanly. It's actually insane. If you get access to this, then you're off to the races. And these two cards by themselves end on like, I think like 3 interruptions, which is really good. And a lot of people do not read this card. Like, this card is also just really annoying. This is how you beat Mizurugi like flawlessly. It's so free, right? And this is how you also destroy Lunar Lights, because if you set this up with any of the Dilla Bellstar monsters, even your Synchro 8, which we're going to talk about later on, like, they can't destroy any of your cards, any of your monster, like on the front row. They just can't destroy them. So when they go like a dancer, Regeki the board, your entire field is protected as far as the monsters go. So if you set like this up with this or the Synchro 8, the Lunar Light matchup just struggles. And then from there, again, we'll talk about the extra deck, how you win the set matchup. Yeah, it's just insane. Broken cards. Very, very good. And of course, for the last 3 monsters I play, I just play the 3 Fuas. That's it. That's the only hand traps you play. Just the Fuas. Fua and board breakers is insane. I have people that like literally just play through the Fua, and I just end on, I just have so many gas cards in my hand. This is insane. Because again, you're on breakers. Going into the spells, I play 2 Foolish Burial Goods. This card is really, really good because it helps you get into your Dilla Bell's monsters. And also you can dump Black Gold Slab if you need to. I actually won a game because I activated Wanted, it got ashed, and then I went Foolish Burial Good, dumped like some random Simple Spoils card, and then upstarted, and I drew into Sylvie. Pretty lucky on that. So funny on that. Then of course you're playing Triple Thrust and a talents. This card is insane in this deck. You have to play this card at 3 because it's just, you get so much value. If you get hand trapped once, or if your opponent starts to summon monsters on their side of the field, like Holly Sue or things of that nature, this card just gives infinite value in this deck. There's some combo lines where you actually activate Thrust, set like one of your traps, and then you can actually use your White Forest cards to like reset it back. It's actually insane. They get so much value and interruptions. And of course, going second, we're not going to talk about it going second. Thrust is just insane going second. Next, we're playing Triple Eclipse. This card is really, really good versus the Vanquisol matchup, versus K9 matchups. And it's just really good for board breaking. Sometimes, even going first, if you go like normal summon Sylvie and they go like Imperm Veiler, or if you go like Black Witch and they Imperm Veiler, then you can use the Eclipse to like dodge and resolve that effect. So, very strong on that. 1 Hollowed, of course, 1 Phila, 1 Tails, 1 Quick Play or Simple Spoils of the White Forest. These cards are just pretty much staples, mandatories of this deck. You have to play these cards. I guess I can show off the Deception here. 1 Deception, and then you play your Triple Wanted. I think there's just nothing to really say about these cards. Like, these are all pretty much staples of the White Forest Azamina deck. So you definitely keep those going. Then after that, we got 2 witches, and then the terraforming. The reason why you play the terraforming is because you play Thrust, so you can actually search your White Forest engine through that. And then moving on to the traps, I play 1 Woes, 1 Simple Spoils Betrayal, 1 Curse, and double Black Goats. Black Ghost is just insane. You pretty much auto win versus Yummy if you hard draw this card. Even when you soft draw it, like if you use like goods or you send it to the graveyard, the fact that you just calling Snatchy just kind of wrecks their strategy is insane. On top of like your full board, your half board, you full board, you pretty much just win on the spot. Woes is insane. I actually cut this card for a little bit and then I put it back in there because it's just so good off of the Thrust, right? If you get hit with like a Perulia, then you can just go Thrust into this and you can still play on your opponent without giving them too many draws, because Perulia cooks this deck. Fua is not too bad. If I get hit with Fua, I give them like 2 draws and I pretty much full combo. But with Perulia, it gets a little trickier, right? You give them like 5 draws if you like full combo, and you don't want that to happen. So yeah, Curse is just Curse. You searches the Phila. It fulfills the trap card requirements for your Vengeance. So you have to play both those spells and traps because those are the best 2 Dilla Bell spells and traps you can play. And I don't play, and again, I'm the only White Forest player on this planet that plays this card. And I just think that if you're not playing this card, you're crazy. This card is insane. I get the idea of Slumber or Morian or whatever you want to call it, but this card right here single-handedly helps me go through board breakers. It's a permanent negate, so like if I hit a card, it's going forever. Like it's, unless they remove it, it's really broken. And it also gives you follow-up, because I always end with Black Witch on the end board. So I guess I'm gonna have to go over some more combos with that on how I proceed to do all that fun stuff. All right, going into the extra deck here. Extra deck, I guess we'll start with the synchros here. These are all the White Forest cards. I mean, pretty much self-explanatory. These cards are amazing, and I had a great time summoning these cards. These cards are just fantastic. This card is just broken. I mean, this card, all of these are just broken. Like the White Forest engine is so gassy, and it's like hard to like hand trap, right? This deck plays through so many different hand traps, like fair hand traps, besides Shifter and Droll, that it's just like once you just get off to the races and start eating hand traps and stuff, it just gets crazy. It gets really, really insane. So yeah, the White Forest cards are just broken, and then the fact that they just just naturally recycle themselves, so you have like infinite grind game. Like it's one of the few full combo decks besides Snake Eyes that just like inherently go full combo, and then also gives you guaranteed follow up, and they just kill you. You just kill them on the next turn. Yeah, those cards are insane. Of course, you had to play this card going along with your Poplar, because typically what happens is either you use Vengeance or you use this to summon this, and then this can synchro like this off the board to go into this. It gives you potentially 2 more interruptions, which is really, really good. So very good. I remember one time, I think my life points got so low to where if the Vanquish Soul player would Hungry Burger me, I would have lost. So I put the Hungry Burger into the Spell and Trap Zone, and that was his only copy. So won that game that way, which is kind of funny. I also played the one Arclight and one Chaos Angel. I haven't really successfully summoned Arclight. I went out my way to summon it because it was funny, but I never really hard made this like through a combo. So if you guys know the combo to like make Arclight, if there's like a mainstream combo that like bridges into it naturally, let me know. But I do go out my way sometimes just to make it because it's just hilarious. And it's good versus like Draco Tail and stuff like that, right? Or Lunar Lights. And Chaos Angel is just, Chaos Angel is actually insane. Going into the fusion, let's just talk about my favorite part of the deck, which is the Azamina cards. So I play one Regina, one Saint, one Mu Arcielago, one Soul, and one Sylvia. Yes, I do need to get an OT, but I haven't played this deck in a while, so I haven't had the time to pick it up. But yes, so yeah, these 5 cards are insane. The reason why I play this card is because it's low to the ground to make, and there's some scenarios when you go second where you can actually just summon this first and then force interaction, which is really, really good. And it also helps like out floodgates and stuff like that, because I had Dracoto players literally try to send on the Secreton Dragon because I play spellcasters, but it only interrupts the spellcasters that special summon, which is basically my Synchro 6 Synchro. You normal summon Sylvie, so it bypassed that restriction. What's her face? Azette summon from the hand. So all her stuff resolves in the hand, so she's not on the field. So you can technically resolve her in search. And then Stellar, or not Stellar. Well, Stellar obviously gets not destroyed by that. Yeah. So like it's not a real floodgate in this deck. The only card it really hurts is that if you're trying to go into like this or this, then it gets a little dicey. But other than that, Secreton Dragon doesn't really hurt me too much. Or I guess it hurts the Black Witch too. But I mean, you play Fiends and Illusions, you can bypass those type of restrictions super easily. And then the last fusion card is the Guardian Chimera. So yeah, Guardian Chimera is just insane. It's so broken. This card comes up a lot. Sometimes on my opponent's turn, but a lot of times on my turn when I go second, when I go like normal summon Sylvie searches the quick play, and I have like monsters in hand, and I continue to push. And then if they try to interrupt me, I go Sinful Spoils of the White Forest, and then just hard make this, especially into a yummy board, Chimera cooks a Yummy board, so it's really good for that. So good for that. My last two cards, one obviously it's SP Lore Knight. This card is a mandatory stay in this deck because one, it can output Babushka when you're going for the Lunar Light push. You want to make this and banish the Babushka, and it helps you with that. It also is very good versus Yummy because you can banish their minions and they're just pretty much out of the fight until Marshmallow comes out. And then here, my last card is the Gars. So my deck naturally always go through the Gars, and it helps me just see cards, not only just because it's part of the combo. It shows up more in my games 2 and 3 with my side deck because I summon this card a lot. This card is insane. It helps me go for a game if I need to, and it also helps me draw 2 just to see more cards. So my full combo typically allows me to draw 4 cards. So you see a lot of good stuff, right? You're gonna see your black codes. You're gonna see your just your other parts of your deck that you don't draw, and it's kind of like, I want to say closer to the mid of your combo because you summon this, I want to say in between when you're going for your Azamina line, and you already went through most of your deck, so now you're just drawing pretty much non-engine at this point, so it's really strong. So yeah, I love the Gars. The Gars has always been a mainstay in my deck. So yep, that's solid. Moving on to the extra deck, or sorry, not extra deck, side deck. Sorry. My side deck is very unique. So I know I'm gonna get a lot of shock Pikachu faces, but yeah. So going into my side deck, I play 1 Harpies and triple Dark Ruler no more. I kind of want to play 1 Dark Ruler in the main deck because there's been times where if I would have just thrust into Dark Ruler, it would have just made the game so much easier instead of having to go like Talon's Take or things of that nature, or just trying to really grind with the engine. So I'm thinking about playing 1 Dark Ruler in the main deck just for that particular reason. But Dark Rulers really strong, Harpies really strong. I sacked a Draco Tail player by having just Ash and Harpies. So basically in that scenario, I just hold the Ash, let them full combo, go Harpies, and then they chain the flames, and then you Ash the flames and blow up all their back row. So super good on that. Triple Ash Blossom. This card is mainly for going first or versus Draco Tail. This helps me beat the Perulia, and if I want to negate the Fua, I can as well. And this is a good hand trap to see going first, because you do draw a lot. So if you have Ash Blossom in your hand, it's just an extra layer of interruptions you can have. After that, I played the triple Perulia. It's mainly for like the canine type decks, the Vanquish Soul, the Crystron. Crystron not so much, but it's still very good versus the canines, which is like the engine that hurts you the most. And in some other matchups that like in the mirror match, White Forest and stuff like that, that gets hurt by Perulia. So yeah, Perulia is still really good. And then I want to say like the spicier part of my side deck, and this is mainly for going first and sometimes going second depending on the deck and stuff like that. If like cards are not really good for that particular matchup, I will side in the Toy Box engine. I've done this before in a profile and people thought it was like a creative idea, but this helps with consistency, and it also helps with like hand trapping and stuff like that, because a lot of decks can't play on your turn. And when you're drawing these type of cards, like if you go like Toy Box and have a way to send Toy Soldier, it just gives you so much advantage and so much pushing that whenever I resolve these cards, I feel like I never lose. Like it just feels like I never lose with this card or these cards. I'm not a big fan of playing like Judgment in this deck. For some reason, side decking Judgment in this deck list doesn't seem correct. Because like if you play or you go first, you don't care for board breakers. You don't really care for fair hand traps. And if you're just playing the game at any capacity, you just should just win, because the White Forest is just so resilient to a lot of stuff. Like I said, besides the Shifter and the Droll, which Droll is not seeing much play, at least in main decks, and Shifter is at 1. So yeah, I just feel like this deck is just well positioned into the format. I feel like every deck that I just named has like a very tough time into White Forest. So yeah, I think White Forest is in a really good spot. So if you guys want to go ahead and try to test out this deck, go ahead and try to. But for now, I'm going to give you guys some matches with this deck, and again, I will come up with some you know, other deck profiles and stuff like that, and I'll give you guys a deck profile for Yummy Pearly for the upcoming new format. Also, Konami, ban list, please. Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.